Hi everybody, my name is Lorenzo. I'm here to give you a flashback from the past. We're going to start today with boxing. I came here to the island of St. Croix in 1969, April 28th, doing Carnival in St. Thomas. And that's all I hear on the radio, that whole day, Carnival. So today I want to give you a flashback on me or my days of boxing. I was the only man at that time that looked like Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali was my favorite boxer. And a white guy encouraged me to come to the gym. You look like Ali, you got to reach. And I, I complied and I went with him, and that was a hard day for me, man. The next day, I do all the exercise, and my whole body was like I get hit with a truck the next day. Couldn't move. He said, let's go. Got to go do it again. And then I got over it. And I've been a favorite of the boxing community for years. I had many fights, many knockouts, and my boxing career led me to St. Thomas, St. Martin, Guadeloupe, Martinique, and I've been loved by everybody, and I was the only one to fight on the same card with Muhammad Ali from these islands. And I get to meet with his mother, father, brother, Rahman Ali, Jimmy Ellis. I met with Jimmy Young, Larry Holmes, a whole lot of the old fighters, Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis. While I was in Puerto Rico, I was going into a banquet where they had $1,000 a plate, and all the Sangwang star people looking at each other and giving them the elbow. Who's he? You know? But I evaded them, I dodged them, and I got away. And I went into the banquet. They had a fight at the same time, but I couldn't take part because $1,000 a plate wasn't up my alley at that time. So, so I fought in Puerto Rico on the same card with Muhammad Ali. I was the only one for the Caribbean to ever do that. And that was a big highlight for me. I stayed in a Sangwang hotel, and I saw all the great fighters, reporters like Howard Cosell, and all these guys. They were there, and that was a Don King production. You know what I mean? So your boy was a big potato for a day. You know what I mean? So I boxed my way throughout the Virgin Islands, and I had some good fights. And every card they had on the island, every 2 months they fight, and I had to be on the card. I was not the main event, but I had to be on the card because of my stature, the Muhammad Ali of the VI. That's what they used to call me. And everybody wanted to come to see me, even though they couldn't get to see Ali in person. So I was the Ali of the VI, you know. So every card they had, I had to be there. So I fought with people like Kid Ayala, Kid Francois. I fought with Douglas, a guy from St. Kitts. so many people. I also fought in St. Thomas. I fought in St. Martin, Guadeloupe, Martinique, in the Maison de Sport in Martinique. And it was a nice experience being there. I learned to see how the cyclists prepare themselves for the bicycle race. They would do like a half step, quick steps. There was a lot of things that went on during my days of boxing. I used to run like 10 miles every morning, going up those hills, going La Valley. Some of them, when I used to do them, run them up backwards, and then go to the beach and run on the sand. And I had a nice experience with boxing, and my trainers was nice too. They told me that the guy in the ring that I'm going to fight is not your father. So you're going to hit and do not get hit. And I learned all the techniques for defense, offense. I know what to hit someone so they can feel it and they don't hit me. So thank God I don't have no scratch from boxing or malfunction in my brains. You know, I protect myself nice, as my trainer told me. As the bell ring, say make sure your best punch shall be your last punch. Well, because if they don't fall, they don't want to get hit again. So he tell him, make sure I hit him right in the middle. And if they don't fall, they don't want that again. And my fighting used to be very easy. I used to knock out guys like less than a minute in the first round. And they never ask for a return. They never want to do that again. So that what also used to make me famous, because people always want to come out to see what I'm going to do next. And sometime I will go a couple of rounds well to give the audience some entertainment. So I'll play with my opponent for a couple of rounds, and then by the third or the fourth round I take him out. Yeah, I was the Ali of the VI, and then I find I find myself stop stinging like a bee and floating like a butterfly, and I start to fight like George Foreman and Joe Frazier. I used to hit those guys so hard that sometimes they used to sit down in the corner and don't want to come back out, because I had a punching bag that I made out of sand, cooker's bag made out of sand. And when you punch on this bag, it's like you're punching a wall, brick wall. So it was so hard. So when I hit my opponent, they're being hit and they don't want to get hit again. Sometimes they just give up. I used to have two routes with my running in the morning. I used to go up the La Valley Hill, 5 o'clock in the morning, or I would go where Queen Mary Highway, and I would make that circle all the way around to Calcajon and come back to Montbijou. And then 8 o'clock I go to work until 5. And there was some activity, depends on who I'm going to fight. I would, after I come from the gym, I would go to another gym where I do weightlifting 500 pounds overhead, dumbbell, sit up and push up. So I've always been a slim shape body. But my opponents then look at me and say, "Oh, well, he's an easy object." So they could feel they could have run over me, but I was doing my weightlifting, and this also after the gym. I, I also had my own little gym set up that I would do all of these things. So I do my strategy. How I going to approach my next opponent, because they cannot do the same thing they did with the last fight, because they don't see what you did. So you got to change, adjust, and make it palatable for the audience, so they could have something to talk about, and glad they were there to see your fight. So, and the fight in Puerto Rico, I lost that fight because I been overmatched. I fought with a heavyweight and I'm a light heavy. And the guy weighed in like 230 pounds. I only make it to 180. So I get stopped in that fight in the third round. But I didn't feel bad because I wanted to be on that card. And it was a nice experience fighting with the greatest boxer in the world. And meeting some great people. Jimmy Ellis. He was one of Muhammad Ali sparring partner. And then he also fought with Ali. Ali beat him up. But it was nice to meet all this type of caliber boxers. I get to learn that Jimmy Young, which I also sparred with for the George Foreman fight, that he also passed. Jimmy Ellis passed. Ali passed. So I'm still here. But these are some of the memories that I have, and which make me today a VI legend. And some people ask me why I don't teach this sport to my grandchildren and my children. I was very, I was trained to be very dangerous in the ring. So, and I know the danger of boxing. So I don't want to pass on this tradition, because it's a dangerous sport. And if you don't have the savvy that I had, one can get hurt. And I don't want to see my grandchildren or anyone of my family go through that. Like I say, all the people that I fight, I hit them so hard that they have never asked for a rematch, because they know what they got. You know what I mean? So I fought East to West, Mid-Island, and St. Croix. I fought St. Thomas. I even went to see Muhammad Ali over there one time. And I never get to meet him in person. I meet him in Puerto Rico, so we never talk, which I regret up to today, that I didn't approach him. But even though I didn't get to meet him, that still the people are looking at me as if I'm his brother or some kind of relative. You know. But I get to meet with his mother and his aunt, and they are the father, and they also welcoming with open arms. And so I think about my days of boxing. I've been rewarded well, and here now I'm almost 100, and because of the way that I box and train, not to get hurt or suffer any weight pain from other boxers, that I was so quick, and I was like Oko. I could have slip and slide and and avoid all of those heavy artillery that my opponent used to send out. I know all the defense. I could have put up my shoulder and deflect the punch over my head, and without my guards up, um, I could have slip and slide from one side to the next. I could have do like a corkscrew. um, I was just made for boxing. Um, so my opponent, they would punch at me, and I would just move back. And know when to go forward, know when to go back, know when to side. Know when to go down. Yeah, they just could they just couldn't catch up with me. They're just punching at the wind, you know. And I'm hitting them from all sides. I remember one time I was fighting with a guy. He was very quick, couple of rounds, and I decided I'm gonna put an end to that. So when the referee's on one side, I will punch him on the hip bone. The referee come on the other side, I punch him. They cut you down, cut down that running and slowing down. After that, I just walk over them. My grandfather, I'm southpaw, and my grandfather look at my left hand. He say, "You see that? You see that left hand? That's his gun. When he put that on you, that's it." And yeah, I knock out quite a bit of my opponent, early in the round, early rounds. I was, like I say, I used to do a lot of weightlifting, 500 pounds overhead, bench press, all the routines you need to do, curl, and in the weightlifting area. So up to today, my abs is still like steel, even though almost 100. And I was good, and I had the Muhammad Ali look of the VI, and my trainers had a Puerto Rican guy. He called himself Angelo Dundee, and another guy. They feel that I was Ali himself in flesh, you know. Yeah, all of my surrounding people, even the fans, they look at me as the real Muhammad Ali, you know. And that was nice. And the one trainer, he even hired a cameraman to take my pictures, that I could have this stuff documented today. So you'll see some of my pictures. We will put them inside there so you can see the real Lorezo in action. And so I think today I am one of the VI legend. There's no man in boxing have gone as far as I did, and I used to give it my all. Depends on who I'm going to fight. If I used to run like 10 miles, I go 20. I always have to be ahead of the game. If I'm in the gym or doing the same 10 rounds, I'll do 20 rounds. I used to skip rope for like a half an hour non-stop, straight. Um, and when I got back home, man, my shirt from my top, pants, socks, shoes, everything soaked, you know. And I'll go home and I'll drink like a gallon of water to replenish my all of that I empty out. And I still want more. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is how hard I used to work with my boxing. So to my viewers now, I want to say thank you and all my fans, all those who support me over the years of my boxing. I want to say thank you and be good. This is Lorenzo. Um, I'm going to tell you about my life as a Calypsonian, the most humorous Calypsonian ever on St. Croix and the Virgin Islands. Um, when I get the idea, I talked to King Dobby, and I was his first junior Calypsonian back in the 70s. And he decided he's gonna give me a name since he know me as a boxer and other stuff. So he's gonna be Steppy. This gonna be a next step. Okay, so I start to write my song, my first song, and it took me a whole year to complete it. So I find that guy, George Mitchell. He was arranger for Steel Band and in the days of Teddy. So he was the arranger for the band, and he also was a music teacher. So I went to him and I took a couple of courses with the guitar. And I told him what I planning to become a Calypsonian. And I write in this one song and it taken me so long. So he said, man, it's easy. All you gotta do is get a harmony and a melody. And you put the music to it, or the song to it, and write the lyrics to it. And I find myself writing song thereafter, which would take me like a half an hour. Right, half an hour, song done. And then I joined the Calypso Inc., which W and so White Lady was in charge. So after, well, before I go to after, I went to see our John L. Calypso show. That was a guy from Guyana. He's the guy that bring Derby into the Calypso arena. And John L. show, you could have count all the people in Island Center on your two hands. When I did my first performance, the audience didn't feel me yet, but those that were there, they went out and they tell others. And my next show was standing room only. And if you get standing room, you were very lucky. So I developed a style. I used to be in a competition with the other guys, And after they find out that I am humorous, they took me out of competition and they put me as the guest artist, special guest artist. So I used to write songs just to make people laugh. One lady told me, she met me one time, she said, man, I laughed so much that I pee myself in the chair where I was sitting on. Say, I am very funny. So they will leave me always for the intermission, to intermission and the last, while they're doing the tally of the score. For the, I'll get to sing in those two areas, those two slots. And on the first half, while all the other Calypsonians singing, they would, the audience would say, we want Steppy, and they had a chant, Joey the other, we want Steppy, we want. So that was I bring a lot of joy there again to many faces. So everybody went out of that arena every time I performed, happy, and glad they were there. And I make my demand, well, don't matter, before time they used to bring people like Sparrow. They will bring people like Short Shot. They will bring people like Swallow, King Abstinent, people from St. Lucia to, as the guest start to bring people to Island Center. After they discovered that I could carry the load, they knock off Sparrow, knock off all them other artists, and I was the man, you know. And then they raised my pay from what I used to get. Wasn't too much, but they gave me a little thing. And so I had to be the special guest artist because I was the one bringing the people to the arena. Just like I did in boxing. Now I come with this new movement. I am the crowd pleaser. And I used to write songs accordingly to enhance my performance. And since I was Silver Lip Steppy, I had my silver outfit, pants and shirt, silver tie, my lips in silver, my silver shoes, silver socks. And I was the Silver Lips Steppy as I wanted to be. I had my own tailor that I used to make my outfits. I motivate a lot of people during that time to do likewise. I had people like Generic and a couple other people that walk in my footsteps because of my performance. So Generic used to dress in all gold, you know. So and even little children want to be like Silver Lips. So I think I had a good thing going, and the people that love what I was doing, and I made a name for myself. Up to today, some people I haven't seen for a long time, they still call me Silver Lips. I have made them feel happy with my performance. I even get the pleasure of being on the same show with a guy named Winston Soso. And yeah, he was the main event, and I was, just like in boxing, I had to be on the show to bring the people, to bring those people out. And in Winston, give me that thumbs up, you know. Yeah, so I was, all the things that I did, I give it my best shot. And I feel no second to nobody in my, whatever I'm doing. I always give it my best. And I want to say thanks to all of those that support me in those events. And I wish you all the best. Thank you. It's your boy Lorenzo. Today I come to you as an artist, painter. Many years ago, when I was in my teen, I was influenced by a Russian artist. I went to his studio, and I was a newspaper boy then. So I stand up in his studio behind him. So he look around and say, "How can I help you?" I said, "I would like to do this sometime or someday." He said, "Great." And he peeled off a piece of paper and he told me, "Go and draw something on one side," and he will correct my, bring back the next day and he will correct my work. Great. I fulfilled my part and he did his part. So he told me, "Do something on the other side and come back the next day and he will correct it." With no experience about art, and to see that I did well with those two events as an artist. And I went back the other day and I have never seen that man up to today. I don't know if he died, he left the island, he went away. Never see him, but I never stopped painting and practicing. And up to today, I'm still an artist, even though I'm almost 100. And I still do my art. And I show my art to somebody one time, and they want to know, how is it possible that you, as a boxer, Calypsonian, all of these things, and still have the time to do nice brush stroke? So I was just designed to be an artist. And it was a Russian guy that taught me this. And I just keep on practicing. And when I came here, I understand there was an art studio going down by the Crusaders Club, way up in the bush. And I took some of my work and I show the teacher over there. So she asked me if I come to teach. I was that good. And then they give me a scholarship to go on to study every Saturday from 9 to 12. And from there I move on to bigger things, painting around St. Croix. And then every art show that they had on St. Croix, I become popular again. I had to be on that. I had to be on that show. I had to be on the art show, wherever it is, because I was drawing card for all of these events. There was a lot of artists during that time. This one guy, Lorezo Simmon, and a whole lot of us was in that group. Most of them passed right now, but I'm still here. And that time I was landscape artist, but now I'm doing a lot of abstracts and landscape and seascape. So I go around. I'm also a photographer, so I go around the island looking for different sceneries, mostly cultural events like sugar mills and a whole lot of old ruins, old buildings, and I trying my best now to put them back together as they was, as the original building. So it's a lot of thinking, lot of concentration, and we spinning the wheel. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff to, so the children of today can see how things used to be back then, in the 40s, 50s, and beyond. There was no cell phone then. There wasn't too many cars. Everything was horse and cart, donkey and cart, and people taking they produce, which I call door-to-door supermarket. People used to go with trays on their head and sell from door to door. All of those things I trying to recreate. Fishermen is come by the seashore to sell the fish, and the people used to go down to the boat to buy the fish. And the fisherman, you would go down there and you would tell him you want 3 pounds of fish. And he would get a string and he put it through the fish mouth and the gill, and he string them up and he hold it up so. And say, 3 pounds. No scale. You know, all of those things that I would like to see, let the young people see what things used to look like back in the days. A lot of history. The horse and cart is one of them. This is how the old people used to transport the stuff, the cane, and the produce. There was no trucks back then. Everything was horse and cart. So I like to do a series of painting along that line, because I am planning to do a show soon, and very soon, at UVI, so I could display the past. With all of those things that I've been doing, I also the owner of a t-shirt shop, and I see things, and I guess I was born different, that I was very visual, that I have to see one thing done one time and I can do it. I think if I was working in with a ship company or whatever, I might have been a boat captain. If I was working with the airline, I might have been a pilot. I just love to that word, what do you call it? I can't remember now. The one that the multitasking, that's the word I'm looking for. I like to do multitask. I think I was the one that invented that, because I always like to be doing more than one thing. I like to be involved. I just don't like to waste time moping around and getting in gangs and groups, and I like to evolve. So with all of those things that I did in the past, I decided I'm gonna do a t-shirt printing. I started at home, and I think I was the first black man on St. Croix to start t-shirt printing way back in the 70s. And I used to have all those groups and troops like the Sun Dancers, Sanchez and Associate. When Chucky first started to run for politics, she was one of my customers at my house, you know. And like I said, I think I was the first black man to do t-shirt printing and take t-shirt printing at the level that I have it today. I moved from that home printing to automatic printing, where we could do like 500 shots per hour. And I have print t-shirt locally, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, Antigua, St. Martin, Montserrat, St. Kitts, a lot of places in the Caribbean. Used to call me for t-shirt. And so I transferred that artistic ability to computer design. I started doing work on Photoshop from 1989, and I never looked back since. I was the first one to do computer t-shirt designs on computer. So I have a long list of history of artistic abilities to do things that a lot of people couldn't master one thing, and I had the ability to do so many things. I want to say it's a very good ability to be talented, and do not waste your talent. Do what you can do now, because you never know what's going to happen to you later. That you lose your mind, you lose your limbs. Do what you can do, and do it now.